All right, welcome back to the podcast. Joining back on the circuit this week for week 3 action. I'm joined as always with Shawnee
What's up, everybody?
and Egask.
How to use this?
We got the OG crew together tonight. I realized that. No Bankhead tonight. He's on daddy duty. Um, so uh, we wanted to start off with this with a new segment we're gonna try out tonight, and it's something we're calling the Showdown. So essentially, what we're gonna do is two of us are gonna face off, making argument, counter argument, with the other one playing judge, just seeing which side makes the better, uh, gives the better evidence for their side. So our first one, in case you couldn't guess from what's on the screen, is Ryan Tannehill. So Egas posed this question to me and Shawnee: is Tannehill a top 15 quarterback? I'll start. I think he is. I think with the addition of Julio Jones, AJ Brown, I think they're still finding their footing. That's why we've seen some struggles these first two games. Um, they're gonna have to. It seems like the defense isn't as strong. They're gonna keep passing more and more. I mean, he's at 35 and 40 attempts. The TDs haven't come yet, but I think they will. Teams are they're gonna make you beat them. They're not gonna let Derrick Henry run for 3 touchdowns and 180 bajillion yards anymore every time. So Tannehill will have to put the ball in the end zone. He's got two great receivers to do it. He's regressed from his normal QB1 noise, but he's been a consistent QB1 for, let's see, how many years? Uh, where's my years?
What, I think one?
No. He's been a QB1 way more than one
I
time.
think 1.5 years, bud.
Like 1.5 years.
One,
So,
two.
I think it's
He's been a
1.5 years.
He's been a QB1 twice.
twice.
And hey, it's still more than that. And he's been a QB. He's been QB2. I think he got injured. And every other year has been injured, but he was up there. He still finished QB21 even after only 12 games in 2019. I think he gets back up in there. I think he's had the best weapons he's had around him in a long time. So yeah, what do you think, Shawnee?
Well, first of all, he only been a QB1 like 2 times in his career. That says a lot to me. And then, but just think about it. First of all, he was very efficient on what he was doing last year. Mixed in with a little rushing. This year, we seen first game, they tried to throw the ball around. That didn't go so well. They got blown out pretty much. Next game, they get back to feeding Derrick Henry. So for me, first of all, they're like a step down from Baltimore. I think the offense runs through Derrick Henry. The volume is not there. So we're counting on touchdowns, which is unpredictable. That can happen. It can't happen. He has to be pretty much perfect like he was, but the top 3 floor joke because he was basically outpacing Patrick Mahomes and the rest of the crew, but that's not sustainable to me. But let me give you a couple names because I said he wouldn't even be top 18 for me. So Patrick Mahomes or Ryan Tannehill?
Well, are you gonna go down the list of every quarterback?
Well, I'm just going to give you 18.
Obviously, Patty Mahomes.
Okay, that's one. Kyler Murray or Ryan Stitt.
Really, we're gonna do this, Kyler?
Okay, Lamar Jackson.
3.
Can we skip to the
Yeah,
controversial one?
yeah. Like this is nothing.
Okay, Joe Burrow.
Burrow.
Trevor Lawrence.
This season, it's Tannehill, but
Oh,
after
this,
that,
this season, Tannehill, definitely.
but long term,
This is
Trevor
just his
Lawrence.
argument.
If it's a dynasty question, if it's a top 15 dynasty question, I will take Lawrence.
Okay, I said top 18, but let's keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, Dak. Okay, Dak. Russell Wilson.
These are not the controversial ones. Try like
Okay,
a Derek.
Justin
Derek.
Herbert. No.
And that's still not controversial. Try like a Derek Carr. He's a QB2.
Justin Fields.
I'd take Carr.
Justin Fields.
Everybody's
I'd
gonna say
take
Fields.
Tannehill.
Really?
I'd take Tannehill. But you
Baker
guys know how I
Mayfield.
feel about Fields.
Baker Mayfield.
I'm taking Mayfield.
Man, you're gonna go through every single one.
That's not.
Let's
That's a
just,
debate.
so
That's a real debate.
I'm trying to get to the.
Zach Wilson.
Let's give me It's pretty close
Okay.
with the arguments that you guys have made so far. Um, Shawnee, you pointed out some very good things about how the offense does have to go through Henry, so it's not necessarily Tannehill's offense, but I think he kind of feeds off it going through Henry. Like you pointed out week 1 when Henry wasn't running well, his attempts were down, his numbers were down. But then when week 2 happened, you pointed out that Henry got the ball more. His attempts actually went up, his completions went up, Tannehill's yards went up. He had a much better game.
And what did he finish on the week? Outside of the top 18, I believe.
This is true. This is also true. I think Wood, you also made some good points. This is his best year. I mean, this year he has his best supporting cast. He has Derrick Henry, he has Julio, he has AJ. He lost Jonnu Smith, but he still has a good offensive coordinator. He still has that running back. I think it's close, but with the points that you guys have made, top 15, I'm going to say he is a top 15 quarterback.
All right.
This is the reason I was gonna name 15.
One in the bank for me. Yeah, let's take it. All right. Moving on to the next argument. We got. I'll be the judge next. No, we'll save mine for last. So the next one is me versus Egas and Shani. What was your question again? My mind blanked.
Mine? We just did mine.
Or
Zach Wilson
yeah,
or Mac Jones.
Zach Wilson or Mac Jones. All right, you go first, Egas.
Well, I'm gonna go Zach Wilson on this one, boys. We got the New York kid, right? I definitely think he's the better quarterback. I think he has the better arm talent. Clearly, I think he's more athletic. He's better in the pocket. He's more creative. He's on an offense that he has less weapons and less of a supporting cast. He has a worse offensive line. He's asked to do more. And I think those things can hinder his numbers. But if you're looking at him and his skill, what he brings to the table, it's not even close to what Mac Jones has. I don't think that the skill or what they're asked to do are even comparable.
All right, you good?
For now, I'll make my counterpoint after you.
So when I see Zach Wilson, I have on the screen, I see this very dark green background that happens to be the same color as the Jets. Yeah, they've been crapshoot for a long time, clown show, whatever you want to call them. I'm trying to not use horrible language, but we all know they've sucked. The closest they've come to having QBs that are fantasy relevant is Vinny Testaverde and Chad Pennington. Those aren't names that like, oh my gosh, I gotta have them. Zach Wilson has a great arm. He played against not the greatest competition at BYU in college. So how much did he get exposed? We saw him play the Pats defense and get destroyed. But in fairness, Pats D does that to most rookies. But for Mac Jones, or Mac and Cheese, as Cam called him before he took his job, because that's what happened. He beat a professional starter out of his job, not just handed to him like Zach Wilson. He's running an offense. He's run pro offense in Alabama. They have that pipeline. We know Nick Saban and Belichick are close anyways. He's running a similar offense. I'm not saying he is anywhere close to being as good as Tom Brady, but a similar offense, the check downs, the short routes. They may open it up in the future because he does have a decent arm, but he's running something similar, and you don't have to be the most athletic. You don't have to have the rocket arm that Zach Wilson has to run that offense. So I think Mac Wilson may take some time. Tom Brady did not have his most successful years until he was in his 30s. You look it up. All his QB1s, amazing years, happens when he was in his 30s. I think Mac Jones could have that type of evolution down the line.
Well,
no, hold on.
He wants to counter. He wanted to have that final say.
I'll give you your closing. I'll give you your closing statement afterwards. Definitely. Where do I start? Yeah, definitely. Mac Jones has the check down system. I mean, if that turns you on, if that's what you're looking for in a quarterback, someone who's going to be a game manager and get you like 21 completions on 27 attempts for 189 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. If that's what you want in fantasy, Mac Jones is your fucking guy.
1 touchdown, to be fair.
Oh, I made those numbers up. How close that was. That's exactly made my fucking point for me. If that's what you want out of a fantasy quarterback, Mac Jones is your guy. If you're looking for someone who's going to develop into a piece for your team, it's Zach Wilson, and it's not close. I don't even need to. He's doing less with less, but when you're watching him, when you look at him throw the football, when you watch him play the game, even in his mistakes, you see him process the game in a way that could be very, very good going forward. In a similar way, I see Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray process the game. It's quite, in my opinion, it's going to be good. Back to you.
I mean, I'll make it real quick. You say doing more with less. I mean, throwing at people
No,
like
I said
Jacoby.
he's doing less with less.
No, you said Zach Wilson's doing more with less.
No, I said Zach Wilson is doing less with less. Or I meant to.
Okay, well, even if that's your argument, he just got Corey Davis to a big contract after having a wide receiver
Who the fuck is that guy?
You don't even try that. He's a value. He's a fancy asset.
Pull him up.
He got Elijah. He got a. You're gonna make me mess up his name now. Elijah Moore. He got Elijah Moore this year. I know you're high on him. We both liked him coming into the draft. And Michael Carter, they're building a young offense around him, so it's not like he has nothing.
He just has a bunch of hymns, a bunch of rookies.
He does have
unproven players.
And yet Mac Jones has thrown a free agent. He's thrown a free agent wide receivers. He's thrown to Jacoby Myers. Who's that?
He's also throwing to Hunter Henry and Johnny Smith.
You mean the guy who has not had both, who have not gone through a whole year injury proof? His supposed number 1 wide receiver is supposed to be N'Keal Harry, already injured again. They drafted him in the first round.
Trash.
Exactly, and he's one of Mac Jones's weapons.
And I couldn't read my top 15 list.
All right, I'm done.
Shawnee.
I'm done.
Verdict? The verdict is super simple. Let me put it this way. The point difference between last week with Zach Wilson throwing no touchdowns and 4 interceptions was about 2 total points between him and Mac Jones. That should tell you all you need to know. Mac Jones, ceiling is capped, period. He might have the safest floor of them all, but the floor can go out from under him at any moment.
So you're in favor of Zach Wilson?
Yeah, come on now. 4
interceptions. 1-0, baby. 1-0, big dog in the house.
All right, time for our last round here, and our last showdown question is going to be: will our fearless commissioner, Mr. Tico himself, make the playoffs in any league on the circuit? Shawnee, you have the floor.
I'm going to say yes by default, because only reason I'm saying yes is because you know how the early season matchups can be caught off guard, get the few lucky wins, but everything possible is going wrong. As we all know, between our leagues, mostly all the Tico teams are built the same way. This is the year he finally has injuries. Not that even matters to me. His team usually, like I've been telling him, it regresses every year after the startup. If you trade all your picks, yes, it looks good. Year 1. Usually, it's supposed to. Every year after, regression. And that's all that's been happening. I don't think he makes any playoffs except for maybe one, just because there's going to be some other rebuilding teams, and he might just be that 6th, 7th seed.
All right, short and sweet.
That's just it.
All right, you guys, counterpoint.
Yeah, I don't see it. To be completely honest, I don't see it in any league. He has 0 quarterbacks on any teams. I want to say his best quarterback's Deshaun Watson in one league.
Well, he's got Kendall. He's got Kyle. He's got
Oh yeah, I missed the Kyler Murray one.
He's got Patrick Mahomes and Savage. League? And Savage has Patrick Mahomes.
That's the one I missed. And that might be his best team, but he's not making the playoffs in that league either. It's
that's the one I said he could sneak in.
He's not sneaking in.
I don't. Nah, it's not strong faith. I just said it.
So I think you made my biggest point is I'm gonna have two main points. All right. We all know Tico's teams are all built pretty much the same. They're all top heavy. He trades all his picks at the beginning in order to stack his teams. He gets older players trying to win the first year or two. We're pretty much past year 2 now, and he's in that danger zone. And on top of that, this is the first year he's having injuries. He's not making it. His teams are not built to withstand any sort of injury, not even one. That's just not how he builds his team. If you look at every single one of his teams, he has like 19 bench spots. So I mean, if he took it seriously and
That's his style.
wanted to build for the depth, that may be his style, but his style's about to fuck him this year because the injury bug hitting. Sorry, my nigga.
All right. You got anything you need to add to that, Shani? Shani?
Nah, I'm good, man.
All right.
I'm tired of beating the dead
Yeah,
horse.
that's my case.
I have to go with Shani here. I think he just if we're counting not even my floor. Right now he's got a two he's got a 1-on-1 team with the
He went 1-5 last week. Come
second
on now.
with the second highest point total, and that's a fresh league though. So he maybe got a little, got some slightly different players here. He ended up getting Hopkins as well, So we'll see, And I think the Savage, what he said with him having Patrick Mahomes in that league, he could still have enough ammo there to get him in. So I think he makes the playoffs. He slides in at a couple, but I do think there's a regression. We're all seeing it.
He's also starting Kareem Hunt and Melvin Gordon in that league. I'd run to that.
It's true. All right. So moving on, we had a couple trades. We'll stick to Savages because one big trade just happened here. Now ignore this whole dropping and everything, but here we go, right there. We've got right there at the top, Derrick Henry and Myles Gaskin for Christian McCaffrey. Sugar Shane considered he's 0-2, but considered he's going for it all this year still. Egask is 2-0, still competing for it all this year. So, Shani, what was your initial impression when you saw this?
What the hell is Sugar Shane doing? First of all, yeah, like you said, he's 0-2, and I'm a terrible team. But the way he's looking, I might sneak by and beat him this week. And if that happens, he's 0-3. And we know what happens if he's 0-3. And he's relying, first of all, if you're relying on one player to go to the playoffs or win a championship, I should say a championship. If you're relying on one player to win a championship, that should tell you everything that you need to know. So I just don't understand how you trade CMC for that without getting multiple pieces if you're trying to really fill up your team to win something.
I would say, yeah, why not just take this chance to use Cash and McCaffrey for those younger assets? But I will just add my little anecdote here is when I saw this trade, my first instinct was just to text Evander, fuck you. And I don't really curse a lot, even in text. So that's how much I felt because I was like, I know Evander's one of my toughest competitions in this league for playoff spots. So that sucked. Anyways, go ahead, you guys. Tell me how great this trade was.
This has just been a long time coming, man. Since I got Derrick Henry, I immediately, within seconds, tried to flip him for CMC. This is it's been me essentially wearing him down. He did try to get a lot more out of me. It just wasn't happening. Sorry, bud. He tried to get Henry and Debo. That was really his target. I tried to give him JT and some other pieces and picks, and he wasn't really feeling that. I don't know what the fuck his thought process was there, but you're not about to get Henry and Debo out of me. I don't give a fuck if it's for McCaffrey or not. That's not happening. I don't know.
Just say this,
he
though.
sent me this, so I accepted it and moved on. I
I'm
really
this-
thought about not accepting it because he pissed me off.
Yeah, it really wouldn't have mattered for him. I probably would have just let him die and then trade for him right before the playoffs. But anyway,
I
I'm
am
saying this.
pissed that he got injured. But that was my opportunity to get him, so I figured,
I'll
fuck
say
it.
I don't want it to sound like I'm hating on Derrick Henry because I think the man, I got to give him that respect. I haven't respected him for many years, not because I thought he was bad. You know, when you go by the first year, nobody seen it coming. Even though we liked it, nobody really seen that coming. But he just
Uh-huh.
proved time and time and time again. So I just can't argue with it. The man's a horse. He's a beast. He could be the overall #1 running back if they really gonna give him 4 to 5 blank targets every game. I just like to
He
say,
has 10 already this year. He has 10
I'm not-
targets. What?
so this is no shade towards Derrick Henry. Matter of fact, maybe Derrick Henry would have been the best move to keep him. But I'm just looking at it purely from the trade perspective. It was just pure nonsense for what CMC could do for you. You could trade him, like Wood said, for young assets that still helps you win. And
Yeah,
still
I would have taken
help you
JT and then some and then moved on, in my personal opinion. But I don't know why his goal was Derrick Henry. I don't get it.
So that's that.
Especially when he bet me the buy-in in this league. So he already has paid my buy-in because you're not having a better record than me. I don't. So why would you give me CMC for Henry and fucking Gaskin? I don't get it. But whatever.
Maybe he's hoping that he can catch up on wins, having Henry and you having an injured McCaffrey.
I'm deeper than that, bro. I don't know.
I didn't say it would happen. I just said maybe it would. All right, and the other trade
more power to him.
was survival, right, Shawnee?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I saw this one.
Whoa.
It's a giant ass risk for you. Yeah, I'm gonna go first here, Vander. I don't know. Like I'm not off the two. Like I'm not saying two is nowhere near as good as Sean. We all know that. We don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson and all that crap. Cam Akers could never come back again. I don't know. Maybe this is what you. I thought. I don't know. I just think you could have got maybe a different piece to help you out right now because you're the returning champ in this league. That's what's confusing me. When it's your turn, you can maybe explain that. Like I just would have cashed in those pieces for something to help you out this season for sure. Maybe you're banking on him coming back, but all right, Vander, what do you got?
Yeah, I hear you, but he's good. He's good. I see what he did, and I see why. This, I'm making sure I'm in the right league. This is survival, right?
Yeah.
All right. So his quarterbacks: Stafford, Fields, and Goff. He doesn't need another quarterback. He can afford to trade away Tua and have Watson just sitting until he comes back. He essentially just gave up Akers straight up for Watson, in my opinion, because Tua is not going to be the Dolphins quarterback next year anyway. I think this is a fucking rape.
I don't think it's a rape, but I mean, I'm not saying that. It feels weird. It's a weird trade to me. I really think you could have done something else just to give you even more depth or done something like that. But all right, Shawnee, explain it to me.
Man, I think y'all make some valid points, but you know me, I'm just super, super, super confident. I'll figure it out. First of all, I don't care if I'm a champion. I'm always gonna make the right deals when they come to me. That's where you just have to be different. Like, hey, when I see a good deal, because it's gonna be people who turn down picks and all that stuff when the season goes, then like 5 games later, when they out of it, they come right back. I don't want to be that guy. That's first. But second of all, like Iga said, okay, I had Goff, and he's actually good. And I don't think the first game good, like putting up 50 points. But if I could see with that line protects. So Jared Goff, whatever we think about him is one thing, but he's not like a straight dog shit quarterback. Like he could basically
He's a QB1 at the moment.
They're going to be down most games, so he's going to be throwing from behind. He's a fantasy asset for that reason, in my opinion, even though I think he's not a great quarterback.
I'm not questioning that. I'm saying, could you have gotten a better running back, wide receiver? Like you made a good point, Vander. He's good at quarterback, right? I'm fine with I get that. Could he have gotten another, or maybe if you're looking at Shawnee's team, does he combine Tua and Cam with I mean, Mark, who's doing okay at the moment, but like to
I make this trade as is.
Let me
Like a
keep it real.
Miles Gaskin to get a better backup running back. I guess is what I'm
You
trying to
can
get.
always so you can
I
always
gotta,
make a
yeah,
move for another quarter or another running back. You know, a piece like that, like an addition, not a marquee player. Especially when you look at his treasure chest of picks
yeah.
in
I'm trying to,
MT sitting on his IR.
Oh, what?
I'm trying to put,
Go ahead,
trying to
buddy.
put the team, trying to put the league in a stranglehold, man. It's, go big, go home. You
He's
understand?
trying to treat this league like I'm doing savages. It's bad.
If, if Watson
You do
comes
not
back,
have Savage and Stranglehold. Get over yourself.
That savages is it's mine. That league's already over.
I'll say this: it was a perfect opportunity for both of us. Gusser, he said he shopped him around. I was like the last person that he came to.
That's a good move for
Long,
Gusser.
no, that's what I'm saying. He couldn't gamble to see what happens with Deshaun Watson.
You pick up
You
a
know, he can't,
young quarterback, a young running back. Like I like the
and he
move
has.
for him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying I like the move, but I'm saying like in the long run, if Watson comes back to play and he's on this roster that I have with those 2023 first and Fields turn out to be who I think he's gonna be, it's all over.
I do disagree with one part of Gusser's trades, and usually I like what he gets. I would have substituted at ETN for Akers.
Yeah,
Uh
you would have,
uh
but
uh.
who said I would have did that? You don't have that much leverage when you.
I
It's not like I
understand.
was.
I'm not saying he may have had to work it
You're
out
saying for the because he's coming back this year,
because well, he's not
or do you
Etienne's.
think Etienne's better than Akers?
I think I'm more concerned with the long term uh,
Oh, he's
consequences
supposed.
of Akers' injury compared to
No,
Etienne.
it was just ACL. He's straight.
Yeah, like Akers had a different injury. He had God, what was it?
Yeah, he had the Achilles, but
Did,
he's
Yeah,
32 years old.
was that
he
his
That's why.
Achilles?
yeah he was the
I,
Achilles.
But you know,
oh
it's more
well,
detrimental if
yeah.
you're over the age 25.
I
I'm no
understand
No,
all
doctor.
that.
an
I'm no
Achilles
doctor.
injury, the way it affects your foot and how you plant, it's more of a confidence thing when you come back rather than like a physical limitations thing. I don't know if you guys have ever had any sort of major injuries,
I
like
seen
body
people who
injuries,
did
but
it. I seen
that
regular
fucking
people who do it.
it's the getting your mind to trust your body again is the big thing.
I know somebody who came back.
Making fully allowing yourself to plant and put that weight on it to cut, it's difficult.
Hey, like I said, I understand. It's a big risk for me. I get it from both sides. Like I said,
Yeah, it's
but if
risk
it
on both
pays
sides.
off,
I feel like Gusser should have waited, in my opinion. He could have gotten more if he waited and let Watson's value bring back up. But
but
that
I'm
would be
saying
my
in his
only thing.
predicament with that team, I don't know.
If he's trading it right now in this moment, that's a good, in my opinion, he got good value in this moment.
But from the people who said that, I don't think they would overpay them. I just know them. But hey,
Okay.
it is what it is.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. So as always, thanks Shawnee.
All right.
Thanks Evander.